In the previous video, we took this tegu hide. We made some tea out of some oak bark and started the tanning process on the hide. If you haven't seen that video yet, I encourage you to go watch that now before you watch this one. In this video, I'll show you the rest of the tanning process, so stay tuned. Alright, so it's been a full 3 days since I started the tegu hide into the bark tanning solution. Let's take a look and see what it's looking like. Right, here we go. Had some scales on it. It wasn't allowing the hide to get soaked, so I'll just give it a little rinse down. If there's any sediment on it, so I can see where we're going here. Alright. This is looking really good, actually. There's a storm rolling in. There's always some kind of noise going on here at my house. It's crazy. Drip that good. Alright, so you can see there's even a little spot here. Must have still missed some scales here. Yep. But, I mean, 3 days, I mean, this is going really quick compared to the alligator hides. It's looking really good. See here, in between the layers of skin, it's still where the scales were. In between those segmented parts, it's not tan yet, you can tell. But man, it is looking awesome. You can tell it even feels better. Some scales here. See, those are coming off better now too. A lot of it's actually soaked for a couple days. Just get that all scraped down. Yeah. All right. Do a little work on this, but I'm gonna throw it back in the solution and give you more updates in a few days. I don't know, 3 days or so probably. It's probably gonna be longer than a week like I was originally thinking, but it is going faster, I can tell. All right, it's been a couple more days. I don't know, you can see that in the camera, but that tanning solution is actually getting, the tannic acids are getting less and less in there. There's still some in there, a little bit, but I'm gonna move this bark aside and take this hide out. There's some sediment there, but it is more clear, so that means the tannins are going into the hide. All right, this is looking pretty good. There's still a few spots where I must have not got the scales off. They look like they're off. No, they're still there. Are they? To me, this just shows the importance of making sure it's descaled before you start the tanning solution. A couple spots. Now it's got, for those who haven't done this before, it's got like almost like a fruity smell to it right now. It's got like an odor, but it's like more of a fruity, like fermenting kind of an odor. Rather than a like rotting kind of an odor, which is a good sign. I've had that with the gator hides too, like a fruity smell. think I'm gonna give it a few more days. This is the thickest part of the hide right here, and it's not through all the way. You can tell like right here. See how that's like not where you separate a little bit? It's not tanned in the between those. It's on the surface and on the surface of this. It's feeling pretty good, but it needs a few more days. All right, it's been 6 weeks since I started the Tegu hide. I'm gonna jump into this bucket here and see if it's still good. I end up putting it with some gator hides just to save on containers and storage and all that kind of stuff. I hope it's still good still. Like I said, I haven't looked at it yet. I'm gonna dive into it right now. We're gonna see if we can salvage this thing. If it's still good, that would be awesome. All right, so pull some of this bark off the top. That's pretty much spent. It's got a little bit of a sour smell. I've had that happen before, and it's kind of like a soury, tangy kind of a smell. It's not the best smell, I'd say, but I don't feel like it's not like you have rotten meat kind of a smell, if that makes any sense. Throw that bark up here. Let me grab this real quick. I have some fresh oak bark tea here. Kind of give a comparison. So this isn't the darkest. It's good though. You can see there's tannins in it. Nice red color. And this over here, this is like more of a brown, muddy color. Looks like a lot of the tannins, if it didn't have all the particles from the bark in there, it'd be even more clear. But a lot of the tannins are gone out of this already. So we're gonna have to pull this off. Set this aside. Get this bark off the top of it. Look at these skins. All right, so here's the gator hides. This shows the importance right here of moving your hides around a little bit and not having them completely packed tight. I should have probably not piled as much bark on the top of this, or put layers of bark between this and the other. So where it's folded over, like you can tell that the tannins didn't really soak in, like this right here. This gator hide's got a long ways to go still. I think it's still good. It does have a slight odor to it, but I think I can salvage it. I'm gonna put it back in some solution here. But that's that. Yeah, see? Look at that. Kind of move it around. Like, I wish I would have checked this like a couple times over this process, like kind of move things around a little bit. This, I think, might be good. Let me do some inspection on this and I'll turn the camera back on. All right, I went ahead and just threw the gator hides back in here. I took them like a sponge and I was kind of wringing them out, wringing the old water out of them. I feel like that would help. They're kind of like a sponge. They'll absorb more, I feel, if you get rid of that old, put it in the new. This looks pretty good. I think this is gonna be good, tanned all the way through. I'm going to just, because I have to leave to go do something else right now, to keep this from drying out before I get back to it, I'm just gonna throw it back in here with these gator hides and slosh it around. That'll get some more tannins into it too if it needs any. But I think it's done. I'll come back to this in a little while after I'm done working on my other project. All right, so check this out. I was trying to dry this out slowly and work it as I did it, but I got distracted by everyday life. And this thing it's just a hard piece of, it's like bark. It's pretty much bark now in the shape and form of a tegu hide. So I'm just gonna spray with some water and try to get this thing broken back in to have a little bit of a flex to it and maybe a little flatter. Spray it down with the hose. I don't want this thing drenched like wet, hopefully. Hopefully I don't have to get it soaking wet to break it, but just spray it. Let it soak in a little bit. Maybe, oh, it's already a little more flexible. I did that with a gator hide and it was so rock hard, it took forever to get that thing where it would be flexible again. I might spray this a couple more times. Actually, I'm gonna let this set for a second. I'm just gonna let this set for a second and maybe, yeah, it's already more flexible. I'm just gonna let this water soak in for a minute. I can flex it a little bit, break it so that it's a little more pliable and a little more flat. All right, so you see here, this is what I'm talking about when I say to get these little scales off. Like even on the gator hides, get that scale off there. This is all from that scale being on there, and it's hard to get off now. And I tried peeling more of that off, but it is not tanned correctly. Some of that scale comes off and it's good underneath, but some of it's not. That could be where that green was on that too. It seems to be affected more where the scales were on there. But I'm gonna go ahead and oil this. I hydrated it a little bit, kind of broke it in as it's drying. It's not completely dry yet, but it's softer than it was. And I'm gonna take this mink oil and I'm gonna put that on this surface, the outside of the skin, because I want to leave this without any kind of oil on it, because I'm going to be making something out of this possibly, and I want this to not have any oils on it in case I want to glue it. But I want this to be nice and conditioned on the outside, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Some of this might disappear when I get oil on it, because I've had that happen as well. Start seeing what this looks like. Paper towel is probably not the best. It'll come off though, it looks like. If I don't rub too hard, it should be a little better. Just kind of gently do it. And I've used the neat's foot oil in the past on the gator hides and it works good, but doing a little more research on it, it sounds like mink oil is the better oil, because it will it doesn't have a tendency to I believe it said the mink oil will can go rancid, or it can not doesn't do as good a job. I'll have to research that a little more. I'm sorry, I don't know it right off the top of my head here. But when you're oiling it, they usually, what I've seen and what I've read and researched is it's best to do it when it's just slightly damp. It helps that the water, a little bit of moisture that's in the hide, it helps bring the oils into the hide a little more. All in all, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I wish I would have taken more time to get these little scales off of here. And I wish I would have been a little bit more, a little more time to not get distracted and put fresh bark on it when I wanted to. But being the first time on this particular type of hide, I'm pretty happy with it. It's just that same laurel oak bark is what I used on this. I'm sure other barks would probably work good too. Laurel oak is what I used. There was a little live oak mixed in, I believe. But all in all, it's pretty good. It'll make for a pretty cool looking project. It's cool like it is, but I might make a wallet out of this. Who else has a Tegu, Argentinian Tegu hide for a wallet? I don't know if anybody does. I might have the first one. Maybe in Argentina. I don't know. Haven't been there. Maybe someday. If any of you have seen anything made out of these hides before, leave a comment. And if you can, leave a link to the thing you've seen made out of this. I'd like to check it out. All this stuff is intriguing, and I like learning new things, so. On this, I didn't want to break it too much because I do want it to be somewhat stiff. I don't want it just floppy, because I can always break it later. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wipe that off or something. Get that paper towel off there. Sometimes I just do things on the fly. I don't have an exact plan. It's nice to plan stuff out, but when you work steadily and you got a family, some of this stuff just doesn't, kind of takes the back seat, unfortunately. Let me grab a new piece here. It's very hard in this world we live in to not be a cog on the wheel at some point in your life. Just fine. We do what we got to do. We're all just trying to survive here. I might go ahead and leave this. It's kind of sunny today. I'm in the shade over here now, but it's pretty sunny. In about 2 minutes, this thing will probably be heated up and that oil really soaked in. So yeah, I'm not super happy with using paper towel right now. I'm just trying to fit this video in because I know some of you watched the previous video where I started this, and I thought it was going to be a matter of a week or two and done with this thing, but it's been a lot longer than that. Way longer than I thought, just because of life. That paper towel is horrible. Note to self, don't use paper towel for this. All these little things right here just kind of shred that paper towel. All the little spots where all the scales were, they just shred that. I think that whole thing's coated now. Just kind of rub it in, work it in. This may not be a prime example of what you can do with a Tegu hide, but it does prove one thing, that you can bark tan it, veg tan it like you basically can any other animal. So go ahead, experiment on them. I'll come back in a little bit here and show you what it's like after this is kind of soaked in and see if it's changed much. I might try to clean this paper towel off with something, but you don't need to see all that. So, just wanted to show you the finished product. You could probably work this a little more if you wanted to. It's good enough for what I'm gonna do with it. I thought it's pretty cool hide. If I did it again, however, I would probably do instead of cutting it up the belly and having the back section here, I think I might like this section better. So I'll probably skin them differently. Instead of the back section being the biggest portion, I'll have a bigger section of the belly, which I thought would be kind of cool. All in all, I'm pretty happy with it. It's cool doing something for the first time and being able to share it with other people. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. It helps the channel out. If you don't want to, that's cool too. Until next time, I'm Phil and you're watching Scope Scar Outdoors.